Okay, let's look at these three problems and think about what it would look like with the charges, but we don't want to really drag 500 charges and 200 charges to do these. Okay, let's just think about it. You may like this way of visualizing addition and subtraction better than the number line. Okay, I personally do, but okay, it's just a personal preference. Okay, so let's just look at these and think about it. The first one, negative 500 plus 200. Okay, negative 500. Of course, I'm not going to put 500 negatives, but I know I'm going to have a whole bunch of negatives. And by the way, I don't have red, so we're going to have to kind of pretend like these are red. Let's just think of a big pile of 500 reds. And we also have a pile of 200 yellows. Okay, the only thing I'm trying to do is see the colors and make the correct pile larger than the other. Okay, so there's 500 reds and 200 yellows, so the red pile is going to be bigger. Okay, so keep in mind, I want to think about what the charge would be. And I'm pretending that I'm looking at 500 reds. And I'm pretending I'm looking at 200 yellows. Okay, two questions you want to ask yourself. Okay, when the signs are different, two things you want to ask yourself. Who's going to win? Okay, what's there more of? Okay, who's going to win? And by how much? Okay, well, if you have 500 red and 200 yellow, you know, it's to work, right? You know that the yellow and red zero pairs will go away. So those will all cancel out. Does that make sense? All of the yellow-red pairs will go away. And when they do, you can tell that the reds win. Okay, the reds are going to be left over. Okay, so you know that the reds are going to win. You know that there's more reds than yellows. Now you just need to know by how much. Okay, if you want to know by how much, what you're really doing is you're comparing the two piles. You have a really big pile and a smaller pile. And I want to know how much bigger one pile is compared to the other. Okay, well, when you compare two things, you just use subtraction. So I'm going to take the 500 minus the 200 to give me how much the red's pile is bigger than the other. Okay, so the red pile is 300 tiles bigger, and the reds win. So it's negative 300. Okay, so even without actually putting all the tiles together, I know that the reds win, and the reds win by 300 pieces. Okay, let's look at another one. Okay, we're looking at 500. I'm thinking of this as negative 500 minus 200. Okay, but I'm also thinking of this as just a pile of 500 negatives and a pile of 200 reds. Okay, in this problem, nothing's going to go away. Okay, there are no zero pairs. Okay, so if there's no zero pairs, and we want to know the charge, and there's 500 reds right next to 200 reds, all we have to do is add up how many reds do we have. So we're just going to add the 500 and the 200 up. 700. So there's 700 tiles altogether, and they are all red. So it's negative 700. Okay? Last one. We have negative 200 plus 500. So negative 200 would be a smaller pile of reds, 200 of them, plus 500. That's a much bigger pile of yellows. So again, just like the first problem, we know that we're going to have a bunch of stuff go away. Okay, we're going to have all of those zero pairs cancel. Okay, and we know just by visualizing this, the idea, the yellows win. Okay, the yellows are going to win. There's more yellows than there are reds. Okay, so the yellows are going to be the charge. It's going to be a positive charge. So we want to know the difference. We want to know the difference. We want to know how much larger is this yellow pile than the red pile. And the way we find out is to subtract, just like we did before. 500 minus 200 is 300. So there's 300 more yellows than there are reds. So we just need to keep in mind that the yellow positive charge is really the charge of this picture. So positive 300. Okay, guys, try this. If you like the number line, stick to it. I'm just trying to show you another path to understand addition and subtraction. Maybe one way will work better than the other. Okay, let me know if you have questions.